All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier iHypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. And of course, for our regular viewers, listeners, and watchers of the pod, the iHypnosis life coaching journeys. This is, of course, as you know, our curated podcast where we bring to you some of the most amazing coaches and healers from right across the country. And, I've had some truly amazing guests. We started last year, and now we are rolling into year two. And there's some really amazing people that you've heard and seen over the last year. And as we roll into year two, we have a really amazing guest. I must tell you this. A lot of my guests in the past I have met in person, but here is somebody through the magic of the internet that, as memory serves me right, or if memory serves me right, I have not yet met, but his personality shines through and through. So this is, of course, your cue, Yuri, to turn on your camera and and your mic as well. So as Yuri turns on his camera and joins us, there you
Ta-da!
go.
All righty, fantastic. Thank you so very much for having me here this evening, Rahul. Thank you, everyone. Hi, everybody. I am Yudi, a communication coach, an NLP master practitioner, a rock singer, and an avid motorcyclist, baby. I'm all about expression, my friends, whether it's through words, my voice, my music, or my connection with the silent tarmac or the silent road. Today,
Nice.
I'm thrilled to be here to share my vision, my voice, your vision with all of you. Thank you very much, Rahul. You are looking fantastic, my friend.
Thank you for agreeing and being available for our pod. And I must say, we will definitely be exploring your story and how you got to be here. I know you have many avatars, many hats that you wear, and maybe we'll start here. If I was to say so, Yuri, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do today?
Oh, today, half of my day was spent as a rest day
Hmm.
because I just finished a ride, 750 kilometers ride just yesterday, got back home. So it takes me half a day to get my bearings back of my comfort zone per se. So after the ride. And then the rest of the day, I was chalking out my rest of the week and my entire month and how to go about because I'm starting some new training, some new batches, and
Nice.
so on and so forth. And I was
Nice.
looking forward to 6 p.m. This evening.
Okay, so maybe we'll start with, like you talked about, the many things that you do.
Mhm.
Um, how did you actually get to this point? Like, if one was to zoom out and go back in time, what's been your journey for you to get here and do the things that you do? Some of them are related, and some of them are completely, from different avatars, different universes, so to speak, right? From being on the stage to being on the road to, of course, being in schools. I know and you've been on many different stages. And I'm sure today, as people get to hear about your many stages and the many avatars, they will not only be inspired, but also, it's an opportunity for them to understand how you got here. So, where would you like to start?
Wow, that is a good question. Fantastic. First of all, my heartfelt gratitude to the universe, to everybody, to Rahul, your community, and the entire community, because I know you have a beautiful community. I'm part of it, though I'm a passive member. However, I am part of it, and I'm in touch with everybody in the community. You're doing a fantastic job, and I'm truly grateful and honored to be interacting with you to begin with. Now, about me. Um, well, I happen to be one of those very lucky ones who knew or who realized at a very young age that when I grow up, I'm going to earn a living doing something I am good at. It may or may not have to do anything with my qualification. I got my qualification due to which are the right words? Societal pressures, peer pressure, what my parents wanted me to get educated, basic degree honi chahiye, which was a very good thing. I'm very,
mm,
very grateful to my
mm,
parents that they made sure that I did my masters as well. I'm very, very
mm,
grateful to them. However, I always wanted to make a living out of what I'm good at.
mm,
I'm a pretty decent writer, a creative writer. I'm pretty decent with my voice ability, my voice modulation, and I can speak in 4 different languages, and I can sing apparently. So apart from that, so and motorcycling, का बहुत शौक था
mm,
बचपन से. So all these things uh, and of course, not that I didn't go through the 9 to 5 regime as well. Even
mm,
that, through the societal pressure, peer pressure, and everything, I did go through that phase for 22 years in the corporate world. Of
mm,
course, no regrets because I learned a lot of stuff out there as well,
mm,
which I use till date, and rock and roll music. Music
mm,
has been a part of my life since I was a baby because my mom is a Carnatic classical singer.
mm,
And so I learned Carnatic classical singer till 1983, 84. Then I heard bands like Metallica, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Led
mm.
Zeppelin, Doors, Jethro Tull, CSNY, Uriah Heep, to name the few. Did I miss Deep Purple? How could I do that? So all of them, suddenly the Carnatic music took a back seat and I got into heavy metal and hard rock singing. When I started fronting a band, magic happened, Rahul, in my
Mm,
life.
mm,
Suddenly, I got access to this abundant, and a plethora of some mad monster confidence,
mm,
which I can give you in writing. No other school of thought or an institute per se
mm,
can teach a person that kind of a monster confidence. That's what rock and roll gave me, which has seen, and I've been doing, and that's what I think. That then I realized that thanks to being a frontman for rock bands for more than 27 years, close to 30 years now, that's where my monster confidence comes from.
mm,
And it helps me to be a better coach, to be a better mentor, and to be a better public speaker.
mm,
It gives me this monster confidence to look directly in a very soft way, as per the context, look into someone's eyes, as I'm doing right now. I'm looking at the camera eye here. I'm not looking at your face because I'm addressing everybody.
mm,
So, and of course, now I look at you because I love your beard, man. So, this monster confidence entirely comes from rock music. And I did have my stint of theater, which I had done when I used to be in Mumbai doing advertising.
mm,
And I did a play with Lilith Dubey. It was an operatic montage to the Mahabharata. And I
mm,
played the bastard in Mahabharata. I played Karna. So it was amazing. It had Vishal Dadlani as Krishna and I as Karna, and we had some other rock singers. So I all these kind of exposure from last 20, 25 years has given me a lot of confidence,
mm,
which translates
mm.
into the personality I am today.
Right.
And all these the other things which came into my life, and I realized it, and of course there's a long story how I became a coach, how I became a trainer. So the entire credit for my monster confidence goes to rock and roll.
Mm.
And yeah, and here I am today, and Rahul George.
So, since this pod is in service of people who have somewhere discovered the power of coaching, the power of healing,
Mhm,
and like you mentioned, there's a journey to
mhm,
you being and discovering
mhm,
and becoming the coach, becoming the mentor.
mhm,
Take us back in time to what led you to discover that, because I suspect that in your rock and roll days, and for context, especially those of you who were in college, say in the 90s,
mhm.
what was the name of the band that you uh,
Um, my very first band was called Ravage. I was in
mm,
first year BCom,
mm,
and I used to be the original AGNI Agni in 1989
yes,
90. I used to
yes.
be their roadie in the true sense,
Oh,
not what we
okay.
see roadie on
Yeah, 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 of course.
television.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Roadie in the true
The
sense, that
real roadie. Yeah.
I used to carry the gear from
Yep.
gig to gig, from
Yep.
town to town,
Mm,
and I used to sit behind the car or the truck with the gear, and that's how I learned the ropes. So I'm very grateful to the original lineup of Agni.
mm,
And from there it began. And being a roadie and Ravage, my band, which I'd formed in college, they used to always need an opening act. So wherever Agni traveled to promote their
nice.
first album, I used to travel.
Mm,
Then I shifted to Mumbai, and I was doing Jaya play. And then I came back from my last show in Kolkata. I had arrived in Mumbai in my, I was working in an advertising agency that time. In my, right behind my computer, there were two post-its. One
mm,
post-it read, Zubin Balapuria of Indus Creed wants to get in touch with you for a session, a demo.
mm,
The other post-it said, Coco and Bell of Agni from Pune are desperately looking for you to contact.
mm.
Guess whom I called first? Agni.
That's right.
then I had to shift to Pune that time because had lost my father, and I couldn't
Mm,
shift back to. And my mom was all alone here,
mm,
so I shifted. I quit a very lucrative parallel careers there, and I came back to Pune, and I was working in the advertising industry of Pune for 4 years.
mm,
Then I couldn't take it
mm,
because I was so used to the Mumbai standards of creativity and all that kind of a thing. Because I
mm,
used to present ideas because I'm an extremely animated
mm,
person. I'm quite good with being expressive. So I used to make presentations, and usually when I used to present an idea to a client during my advertising day, पहला option used to always win.
mm,
बाकी ऑप्शंस दिखाओ मत, यही अच्छा है काइंड, नहीं सर
mm,
बाकी भी देख लो सर,
mm,
अरे राउंड दे रहे, this is much good and that kind of a thing. Because so all those skills, all those years, then I quit advertising in Pune. Then I was wondering, what do I do? Remember,
mm,
before the podcast, just before we began, I said I
mm,
happen to be one of those lucky ones who knew at a very young age
mhm,
that I would grow up to make a living out of doing something good at. So I
mm,
sat down. What else am I good at? Writing. Okay, advertising is over. Now what?
mm,
My voice.
mm,
Someone asked me,
mm,
Yuri, have you heard of call centers? I said, what's
mm.
that? So I jumped into the water to learn how to swim. So I
Mm,
joined a call center, and I was very good with it, taking calls for 11 months because I'm a studio artist. I have a lot of
mm.
experience giving voiceovers for animation, cartoon films, documentaries, industrial narrations, and so on.
Nice. Mm,
So I was very good at call taking. I used to take calls like a radio jockey because I knew a lot about
mm,
American culture. I could talk so much with the clients and blah blah blah. I could pacify an irate customer very easily. So all that baffled the industry.
mm,
So I still remember my project manager. He came and told me my pseudonym was Logan because I'm a huge Wolverine X-Men fan.
mm.
So he came, hey, Logan, place the customer on hold. I placed him on hold. Yes, buddy. He said, Yudi, today is the last day of IJP, internal job posting for process trainer. I don't want you to miss the bus. That's how I got into training.
Mm,
1 year I was a product trainer. Then I actually, because I love speech, I love diction, I love articulation,
mm,
I love the beauty of how our apparatus, the articulators, form and produce words in I just love it. The concept
Mm,
of the entire apparatus really excites me, yeah,
mm,
Rahul. I'm very passionate about it. So so that's how. So I wanted to get into voice and accent training. That's how my journey
mm,
began. So then I finished, then I quit my job. I took a voluntary retirement at 44. And I wanted to take as a trainer, I wanted to go a notch higher. I
mm,
started teaching verbal reasoning for GMAT, GRE, and SAT
mm,
for 5 years. I started studying for 1 year. I studied for 16 hours a day. My mom used to say, "जब पढ़ाई करनी थी तब तो की नहीं, अब क्यों कर रहे हो इस उम्र में?" And all that.
mm,
All that. And I gave GMAT and GRE thrice.
mm,
And obviously, because call me a method actor, I wanted to experience the exams myself.
mm,
When my students sat for the exam, उनके चेहरे के
mm.
नीचे कितनी आग लगती है, कितना चटका लगता है,
True,
मुझे
true,
लगना,
true.
I need to feel it.
Mm,
Kinesthetics, I'm a very kinesthetic guy. I need to
mm,
feel that वो आग, अच्छा सर इतनी तकलीफ होती है. तो उस from that perspective, I used to train them. So I learned a lot during my GMAT days because my audience wasn't call center. It was right from a retired colonel
mm,
to a CEO to anybody and everybody, Rahul. So that time, as a trainer, I learned a lot of things.
mm,
How to, so that actually taught me how to tone down my approach of training. Don't be always too loud. Don't try to be funny always. Bring in the
mm,
serious guy. So those 4 5 years, I learned a lot. Then after that, I got into hardcore coaching, where now I teach verbal communication and non-verbal communication, and
mm,
finally how to combine both in order to be a good public speaker
mm,
and to be good at it. Yeah, that's
mm.
what I help people do now.
Nice, nice. Okay, so there are two ways we can go
Uh-huh.
at this point.
Okay.
One is, so you've taken us, from your 30s to your 40s, and as you started to kind of, hone those skills, and
Uh-huh.
now more into what you're doing today.
Uh-huh.
So one approach is, we could go back, as you said, college days, like first year, second year, third year, and then what was that journey? That's one approach.
Okay.
Would you like to do that? Would you like to
Anyhow,
take us
anyhow.
back? Because here's the thing: like
Mhm.
when people see you now, and especially for people who are, who've recently entered into the coaching space,
Uh-huh.
um, like healing is, of course, that goes without saying. But people who have entered into the healing space and people who entered in the coaching space, at some point they would have heard your name, because
Okay.
one of the bigger engines of creating more coaches today, the company Success Gyan, they have one of these properties called the super speaker, right? And you proudly hold that mantle and wear that mantle
Yes, sir.
uh, as one of their like super winners. So that's one approach that one can go, because when people see this avatar, they sometimes don't know how you got here. So like I said, it'll be beautiful maybe if you share with them how, from college to post to eventually getting into the corporate world, like what was that journey like for you?
Um, would you mind if I start from school instead?
Please.
Wonderful. I, right from my school days,
Mm-hmm.
I've been very hungry,
Mm,
hungry to face people, to
mm,
talk in front of people. So, all some 10 years of school, every year, I used to
mm,
snatch any and every public facing opportunity.
mm,
Every year, on Dr. Radhakrishnan's birthday, on
mm,
Teacher's Day, I
mm,
used to play a teacher and teach a subject.
mm,
Every single year,
mm,
every mono acting competition. Who cares whether I won or no?
mm,
In the long run, it's going to help me so much.
mm,
And I'm very grateful to my parents that they enrolled me throughout my school journey
mm,
in a co-ed school.
mm,
All that. So I'm very grateful for all that.
mm,
I was in a co-ed school. लोगों के तौर तरीके और तमीज में कैसा रहना है. I learned
mm,
it from a very young age. And I grabbed every public speaking or facing opportunity. I used to conduct the assembly. I used to
mm,
sing the national anthem. I used to sing the school prayer. I did that for 10 years. सोचो कितने
mm.
number of repetitions हुए होंगे.
True.
So I started young.
Mm,
Now, for the listeners who've never had this liberty of doing in the school, if you wish to start now,
mm,
you would require certain mindset change to happen.
mm,
First, of course, which Rahul is a kingpin in helping you do that. Uh, you would need to start believing in yourself. And my secret is the power of visualization, Rahul.
mm,
I close my eyes, I visualize myself winning.
mm,
I visualize it always. Why? It's even my advertising days experience. I've been so into words and visuals all my life.
mm,
So visualizing comes. It's part of my nature.
mm,
Even if you log into YouTube and watch when I won the Super Speaker season two title,
mm,
all 10 of us were there. And the lady, the beautiful lady, she asked, "Yeah, are you ready?" I guess I was the only one who said I was born ready.
mm.
Everyone else said soda, jittery, chicken feet. I got butterfly. You know, those kind
Yep.
of words. I was the only one who said I was born ready
Mm,
because I had visualized it. I closed my eyes.
mm,
And I I am very particular about the environment. When I had gone for the shoot,
mm,
the evening was the shoot. The morning
mm,
they were setting it up. I was
mm.
the only. I went down. I
Nice.
paid the respect. I owned the stage first. Nobody was there.
Mm.
I felt it. I paid gratitude to the stage. I told them,
Wow.
मैं आ रहा हूँ भाई संभाल लेना आपकी शरण में आ रहा हूँ संभाल
Nice.
लेना भाई. So all that kind of a thing.
Mm,
So there are ways to do it. First of all, you need to believe in yourself. Also, the second thing it's not as difficult as you think. It never is.
mm,
Is never is.
mm,
Nobody's expecting you to become a shameless extrovert as I am. However, you can develop a switch inside you, which you switch on to become an
mm,
extrovert when it's needed. You finish the task, then you switch your introvert again and go back to
mm,
your world.
mm,
However, just being an introvert, it's very, very difficult.
mm,
So first you need to check whether you're an extrovert kind of a person, then an introvert kind of a person. And depending on that, a
mm,
training can or a coaching method can be modified
mm,
for a student to help the student. And yes, and all that. And how I really help is all my years of experience of theater. I'm at least 700 to 800 concerts old, the concerts in the
mm,
true sense, which used to
mm,
happen earlier.
mm,
And I can comfortably face 10 people or 10,000 people
mm,
without breaking into a sweat because I'm prepared.
mm.
There are techniques and there is a methodology I use,
Mm.
so it helps. And yeah,
Nice.
2024, I'm Mr. Beard of India as well.
Nice.
I gotta tell you about this story, guys.
Uh-huh.
This might inspire you, okay, all of you. I went for Mr. Beard competition. Obviously, I rode from Pune to Jaipur.
Mm,
राहुल ये बात सुनो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग और आपके
mm,
व्यूअर्स को बहुत इंस्पायरिंग लगेगी.
mm.
दाढ़ी बढ़ाते कौन है यूजुअली फ्रॉम आवर कंट्रीज पर्सपेक्टिव. उन लोगों की दाढ़ी होती है जिसके डोले शोले होते हैं. दे ऑल
Correct.
मस्कुलर एंड बिग गाइज एंड 18 इंच की छाती, 14 इंच का डोला एंड all muscular dudes, right? The gymnasium kinds.
Mm,
I'm exactly the opposite.
mm,
I'm a yogic kind. I'm a thin
mm,
guy. Rest everyone in the crowd, all the other participants were all fitness enthusiasts. We had a
right.
fitness round. I managed, Rahul. I
Mm,
did a plank for more than 2 minutes. So
wow.
I managed.
Uh,
You know why I won that competition? Guess why? They
mm-hmm.
did a mistake. They gave me a microphone.
Ooh.
भैया तुम मेरी कोर कंपिटेंसी दे दोगे तो ऑब्वियसली हम
Correct.
जीतना it becomes easy.
Correct.
So that way. So
Nice.
I won the Mr. Beard of India 2024 as well. So
Nice.
yeah, so I know a thing or two about beard
Mm,
maintenance and
mm.
stuff like that now.
So, I've been taking my time to ask you this question because
Sure.
I know you have a lot to share. But here's the thing: when people talk about, and again, this is like the conventional statistics, right? When people talk about public speaking,
Mhm.
they say it's the number one fear, second only to death.
Right.
Like fear of dying is like number two.
Correct.
Fear of public speaking, as they say, is number one. So say the statistics of what source we don't know, but this is sort of like the conventional stats that have been going around. I'm sure you've heard it in your IT days, ITES days, call centers,
Mhm.
सब लोगों की पसीने छूटते थे, and this would be the typical thing that they would talk about.
Mhm.
Now, in your story, you talk about being pretty much just the opposite, right from your school days, as you talked about it, right? Do you actually have a memory of when it sort of became evident to you that, yeah, I really love this? And I mean, it would have been somewhere school or maybe early days of school, like somewhere where it became conscious to you. When I say conscious, as in evident to you that, oh yeah, I actually like this, while other people are like all, you know, shaking like leaves.
Oh. Oh yeah, there are too many of them, man.
Hmm.
It's especially um, those days. It was a non-internet era,
Right.
and how it started was my dad used to ask me, "Why you have such long hair? Why you
Mm.
wearing torn jeans and stuff like that?" All that
This
used
would
to
have been
happen.
like what, around what age?
I was in what, 10th standard, 11th
Mm.
standard. I was 16, 17
Mm.
maybe.
Mm.
So I used to have long hair and torn jeans and things like that. However, as we started winning competitions and started gigging, all the newspapers used to
Mm.
have our picture and everything. So
Mm.
my dad, मेरे डैड को बोलते थे, हेलो मिस्टर सेथुरामन, आपका बेटा है ना, पेपर में आया है. हाँ
Mm.
हाँ 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 मेरा ही बेटा है. So my dad
Mm.
used to, then he kind of softened. ठीक है, बाल बढ़ाने दो, कुछ तो कर रहा है, फोटो पिक्चर तो आ रही है फोटो.
Mm.
So apart from that, I I realized that
Mm.
I could actually, I have the knack of
Mm.
emoting my voice, not just till the second row.
Mm.
I have the knack of emoting my voice till the last row.
Mm.
The day I realized that, I knew this is what I want to do. There were a
Mm.
lot of options I had, but
Mm.
rock music was the only one, and I wanted to get into theater.
Mm.
Theater and rock music was the only thing because I
Mm.
love the stage,
Mm.
and I'm a bad dancer. I prefer singing to dancing.
Mm.
So, uh, so that's what the moments when I realized that I could sing a high note and I
Mm.
could sustain my vocal pitch for more than 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and I could do that. And I saw that the crowd was loving it.
Mm.
I could feel, I could see that I was making them eat out of my hands.
Mm.
I knew it. This is for me.
Mm.
And I did it not once or twice. I
Mm.
did it again and again and
Mm.
again. So I knew this was for
Mm.
me. So even if whether I do the same thing all my life or anything connected to
Mm.
public facing, oh,
Mm.
I'm the man.
So my question was, and I asked this because a lot of times people struggle with this,
Hmm,
especially when
hmm,
it comes
hmm,
to,
hmm,
and
hmm,
now, like
hmm,
post COVID,
hmm,
where if you want to be any kind of
hmm,
coach
hmm,
or healer,
hmm,
marketing has a very, and especially as a personal
hmm,
brand,
hmm,
marketing
hmm,
has a big role to play.
hmm,
And part of that is, of course, being able to, as you said, turn on a switch and
hmm,
make content and reach out to more people so people know that you're there, and
hmm,
sooner or later, your brand sort of grows.
hmm,
So, like for some people,
hmm,
there are ways in which they can do it through, joining a course,
hmm,
being part of a cohort, being
hmm,
part of a group, and sort of honing that skill. You mentioned a little while back that 10 years of doing that in school. My question was, do you have like a distinct memory in school, maybe second, third, fourth, fifth standard, thereabouts, or maybe a little later,
hmm.
where it just clicked, like, yeah, this is like almost like I was born for this.
Oh man, that was a very funny one.
Hmm.
बताऊं बहुत
Uh-huh.
बचपना वाला है ठीक है.
Uh-huh.
At least I
Bilkul.
knew that the stage was for me.
That's
I
what I'm saying.
realized I was in 8th standard.
Mm,
मुझे ब्रेक डांसिंग का भूत सवार हुआ था यार
mm,
those days. So I got to break dance in my school, and I also acted in a play in school called
mm,
अंडे के छिलके. मुझे बेस्ट
mm.
एक्टर अवार्ड भी मिला था उसमें
क्या बात
7th
है?
standard में. So that's when it felt good,
Mm,
and it felt good, and yeah. So, and oh yeah, those days there were no microphones on the
mm.
stand. You remember those microphones which were hung
Hanging
from
mics.
top?
Yeah.
I decided, man, too bahut dur hai. I want
Mm,
it close to me. Wow, I never realized. क्या metaphor बना है. Wow, wow, wow.
mm,
है ना?
mhm,
I need you close to me, baby.
mhm,
So that's how it began. School में, during my break dancing days.
mm,
And those were one of those days that बचपन में नहीं होता है. Boys say, मैं बड़ा होके pilot बनूंगा, fighter
mm,
pilot बनूंगा. When seventh
mm,
standard, I thought I'll be a break dancer all my life.
mm, mm.
Oh, that reminds me of all the girlfriends I have. I always thought I'll get married to each one of them. Oh man. Anyways, yes, sir.
Nice, nice. I love the story arcs that are forming as we go. So
Uh,
so like you said,
mhm.
college, you were a roadie.
Mhm.
You were in the band for a while.
Oh yeah, I was a roadie for Agni. Then I sang with Agni for around 6 to 7 years. I even
Mm,
did one pretty successful album with them.
mm,
That album, one of the songs, put me in the top 20 indie rock vocalists who
nice.
influenced and stuff. I got counted in those top 20, which
Mm,
I'm very grateful for. And yeah, so a lot of people have got influenced by one or two songs of
mm.
mine which are very
So
famous.
this would be the 90s, correct?
Late 90s and
Late
early
90s.
till
Yeah.
2004
Mm,
2005 I was with Agni.
nice. So that, and then you switched into the call center, started working
Ah, hmm.
corporate. Would that be the right? Was that the trajectory?
Yes. Then Agni, I mean, we finished Agni's journey got over. Then,
Mm,
yes, then I got into the call center. Then I was in call center um, for almost 11 years.
mm,
My last job was I was a training manager with a pretty reputed IT company in Pune, a high
mm,
paying job. Uh, oh, another one. Here comes my darling wife.
mm,
I'm blessed to have, touchwood, I'm
mm,
very grateful. I'm blessed to have a very cute lady in my life. And she used to, we met at work, and can you believe it? We already had, we were married, and we had two kids. And she was the one who took my laptop, grabbed me, and tum conference room mein chalo. And she asked me to log into the company's portal, and she said,
mm,
resign now.
mm.
Resign
Okay.
now. You are an artist. तुम यहाँ पर सड़ जाओगे यूडी.
Wow.
resign now. My wife made me resign now. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Because yeah, I if it wasn't for her, I would have. And that, and then I also realized that even if that was a very weird rat race here, Rahul. Very weird. I couldn't
Mm.
take it anymore after 22 years, and I realized that even if I win the race, I'll remain a rat.
Mm.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm just kidding.
So this
No,
was
no,
what, the
no. Please,
2010s, right?
please work in all the corporates. Please make a good
We're
career.
coming to that.
Yeah,
We're coming to
please
that.
make a good career. I'm talking about me, not you. Please,
Yes,
अपना career बनाइए,
exactly.
बाबा बनाइए, बनाइए,
Mm.
बनाइए.
So just to zoom out a bit, so this is, I'm guessing, would have been the 2010s when
Yes.
this moment happened. And what's your
Uh,
wife's name?
my wife's name is Shweta.
So when Shweta, as you said, took you by the hand and the laptop and said, "Okay, resign now." So that was like somewhere in the 2010s.
It was 2014, early
Got
2014,
it.
2013,
Got it.
2014. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So then I've been just doing full time, doing voiceovers and
Hmm.
small time documentaries and blah blah blah.
Hmm.
I did it for first 2 years. It was I was on my own.
Hmm.
So my life was little scattered. There wasn't any routine or a discipline. It took me 2 years to get back in track, and
Hmm.
then GMAT happened.
Hmm.
So that was a great learning experience. Then after that, uh, then COVID happened. Then after COVID, Super Speaker happened.
Hmm.
Then Super Speaker happened. NLP happened. Mr. Beard of India happened.
Hmm.
So things are happening quite well. So
Nice.
decent.
Nice.
So I'm quite
Nice.
grateful.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a
And
beautiful
I'm
journey.
getting to coach some really interesting students. One of my students is she's ex Mrs. India runner up, and
Hmm.
I coach a couple of my students are YouTubers, a couple of them are corporates. So yeah, I have different kind of
Hmm.
students. So, and I'm very flexible, Rahul.
Hmm.
I I become, you know I treat my tone of voice, my choice of words, my
Hmm.
expressiveness, I mold it as per the kind of student I'm coaching. So
Hmm.
life is good that way.
Nice. Nice. So maybe now is a good time to walk us through, what, like today, especially, people talk a
Uh-huh.
lot about personal brands.
Hmm.
People talk a lot about community, having community, building community.
Yes, yes.
So give us a sense of, what's your philosophy, what's your your modus operandi in terms of, building and,
Mhm.
creating and sustaining community.
I think it's a brilliant idea
Mm.
because uh, it's a well-known fact. Um, how however good an idea may be, for a successful execution or implementation of an idea, uh, experience has taught me usually cannot be done by one person.
Mm.
You require a team.
Mm.
And the term team
Mm.
has become so overrated.
Mm.
I prefer the word community. A
Mm.
team may or may not feel like a family.
Mm.
A community always does.
Mm.
So that's what I love about a community where everyone helps each other, everyone
Mm.
is available for each other in order to support each other in their
Mm.
respective journey.
Mm.
And it's good. And it gives a sense of accountability. Some of us need it. At least I do.
Mm.
So, so my accountability partner is my wife. So,
Mm.
so
Nice.
it's good.
Nice.
Yeah. So I
Mm.
think community is a very good idea.
Mm.
Family rules. So it's a good
Mm.
idea.
Mm. And in building out the business of what you're doing,
Hmm.
have you sort of gone the route where a lot of, especially people who are into coaching and healing, where there's a move towards building one's own community. right? So it's
Correct.
not
Correct.
just having followers, it's not just having
Correct.
a YouTube channel or Insta or
Yes.
any of these. I mean, those are one of the approaches,
Absolutely.
but there seems to be a movement towards, every coach, every healer having their own community.
Correct.
So is that something that you find yourself also in the process of creating, or like where are you on that journey?
All right. Fantastic question. A fantastic question. I thought you'd never ask. Now, uh, I have a very different kind of, because I
Mm,
am still in a process in 2025. I've
mm,
already started designing a new course as well.
mm,
So I'm using my resources of as a communication coach, my verbal and
mm,
non-verbal expertise. I'm using that and my years of experience being a live performer. I'm
mm,
combine both the knowledge, and I'm coming up with another course called live performance strategist. So that's,
mm,
I mean, if I may call myself a live performance strategist. So so verbal and non-verbal communication happens from a communication perspective,
mm,
and the live performance strategy is whatever you've learned as a singer,
mm,
as a
mm,
speaker, or
mm,
whatever. So now in my community, it would be a mixture of different kind of people. So my community thing, I need to kick off by end of March or something, because I want to execute and see how the live performance strategy
mm,
course works.
mm,
So I'm waiting for that live performance strategy course, and it's going to be fun. Oh, it's going to be
mm,
mad fun.
mm.
जानवर जगाएंगे, सबके अंदर का जानवर
सही है.
जगाएंगे.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so let's go a slightly different tangent. You
I
talked
like it.
about the road, right? You talked about, in so many words, wanderlust. So tell us today, just for people who haven't or who aren't currently following you and your road trips, your road
Uh-huh.
journeys.
Uh-huh.
Tell us a little bit about what it is that you do as far as the road goes, and then obviously take us back to when it all began, how it all began.
Um, the speech
Mm,
which the final speech which got me the super speaker title
mm,
began with a quote
mm,
which I use since a
mm,
very long time. Knowledge and motorcycles
mm,
should never be parked.
nice.
Knowledge should always be shared.
Mm,
विद्या बढ़ती है ना, नॉलेज बढ़ती है जितना आप शेयर
mm,
करोगे.
mm, mm,
And motorcycles should not be parked.
mm,
I don't care what kind of motorcycle you have. It could be
mm,
100 cc. As far as it's a motorcycle is a
mm,
motorcycle is a motorcycle.
mm,
Knowledge is knowledge is knowledge. So this belief I've had since a very long time, since I was 16, 17.
mm,
Uh, and I used those days. My father was a government servant, so
mm,
उतनी हैसियत नहीं थी हमारी कि
mm,
मोटरसाइकिल खरीदें और मैं
mm,
राइड वाइड करूं. So I used to take my dad's scooter.
mm,
Scooter had dickies,
mm,
so dicky I used to stuff clothes and stuff like that. So I've
mm,
done,
mm.
I think, the entire state of Maharashtra on my
Wow,
scooter.
wow,
Some 7 8 years I've done that.
wow.
Those non-internet era days.
Mm,
So it started from there. अभी जब हैसियत है तो मैं जबरदस्त करता हूँ.
mm,
Every month करता हूँ, बहुत राइड करता हूँ.
mm,
My motorcycle is Royal Enfield Thunderbird 350. She has a name. She's called Omerta.
mm.
Omerta and I have clocked 10 years together and
Wow.
150,000 kilometers together.
Mm,
So just 2 months ago, with my youngest son, Shivansh, my 10-year-old,
mm,
I did a ride from Pune till Himachal Pradesh and back.
mm. Wow.
So मैं 30 दिन के लिए मेरे बेटे को बाइक पे ले गया था.
Mm,
So 30 days, we did the entire Kinnor Kailash, the entire Kinnor Valley,
mm.
and we did Dharamshala, and we
Nice.
got back.
Mm,
And there were so many things he learned, because
mm,
Rahul, I'm sure you'll agree that small things matter.
mhm,
तो उसकी भाषा इतनी शुद्ध हो गई.
mm,
हिंदी, लोगों से तरीके से कैसे बात करना है.
Right.
Because at least I don't know about whether kids were always like that, but at least
Mm,
kids today,
mm,
if you tell them something, they'll never do it, they'll never
mm,
understand. You
mm,
show them, you
mm,
make them experience it,
mm,
they do it.
mm,
And they saw me. And as we entered the Kinnor Valley Road, all Indian Army trucks started coming down. So I had a habit. You were sitting behind me. Every passing truck, it's a habit I have. Jai Hind, sir. Jai Hind, sir. Now, even in this town we are there, if he sees a military vehicle, he says, Jai Hind, sir. So वो एक चीज सीखी उसने.
सही है.
पहले कहता था, अगर राहुल भी हैं जो उम्र में बड़े हैं, अगर वो कहेंगे कि अ, पानी दो, पानी दीजिए, that
Mm,
DGA. So all that small, small things which he knows, all that he's learned in his school books, but
mm,
implement
mm,
नहीं होता है ना. So
mm.
these small things about
Right.
verbal communication he learned. There are a lot of things, and there's a beautiful thing which happened, Rahul. He surprised me, my boy.
Mm,
We were at 13,000 feet above sea level,
wow.
going towards Chitkul. At one place, I stopped. I removed my helmet. The wind was blowing fast, and
Mm,
there was nobody else. And there was
mm,
Bias River down below,
mm,
flowing there. And I started crying. You know what my boy told me? A 10-year-old, you'll expect to usually ask, Papa, are you crying?
mm,
Papa, why are you crying? You
mm.
know what he did? He didn't ask. He just said something. He got down. He held my gloved hand and he said, Papa, I didn't know this meant so much to me, so
Wow.
much to you. So,
Mm,
I mean, that realization as a 10-year-old, I knew my son had grown.
mm.
And there were so many things. बहुत मजा आया. He asked me, who's Dalai Lama? I said, don't Google it. Chal Dharamshala. Took him to McLeodganj, took him to
Nice.
the Dalai Lama. So there was, so these small, small things, anecdotes,
Mm,
how to speak with people,
mm,
how to he learned a lot about let's use the corporate terms, interpersonal skills. He
mm.
learned a lot about interpersonal skills in 30 days. And
Nice.
for this his permission, if you ask me, because the viewers might be wondering, अरे स्कूल ने परमिशन दिया आपको,
Mm,
छुट्टी दी? बहुत मजा आएगा अभी. ये भी एक स्टोरी है. I
mm,
went for the PTA meeting. All the other parents, अरे फिफ्थ स्टैंडर्ड का बच्चा है यार.
mm,
All the other parents, मैम मैथ्स में 3 मार्क कहाँ गए, साइंस में 3 मार्क कहाँ गए? I don't care about
mm.
I prefer to say something else. I went and I told her, ma'am, let the marks be there. Ma'am, I'm taking my son for a ride to Himachal, and he won't be available for 15 days plus the 15 days of Diwali holidays. Okay, sir, would you like to see marks? No, ma'am, I don't want to see the marks. I just came to inform you. The principal says, sir, हमें भी ले चलो ना. Other parents were, kaisa
कैसा?
pitaji? He's not bothered about marks and all. No, I'm not. I'm
Mm,
not. Please do not pressurize your kids. Please. You know why?
mm,
Because that's ineffective
mm,
communication. Effective communication is understanding your children, being empathetic to them.
mm,
That comes down to, if you want to voice your vision,
mm,
viewers, the practice has to start from home.
mm,
You can't portray to be a very nice person outside and not
mm.
be a very nice person at home.
True.
You need to, it has to start from home. So yeah, life that way. My personal relationships with my mom,
Mm,
with my children, with my wife, with my mother-in-law, has, touch wood, has improved
mm,
tremendously. So everything, आप समझ रहे हो राहुल मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ?
mm,
घर में सब अगर मुझसे खुश और मैंने सबको खुश रखा है,
mm.
बाहर कॉन्फिडेंस को कौन रोक सकता है फिर जब दुनिया में दिखाता हूं मैं?
Mm.
Isn't it? It becomes
True,
easier.
true. Mm.
So in my domain, अगर गृहस्थ आश्रम में सब सुखी है, सुखी नो भवंतु है ना, बाहर बॉस आ जाओ. Give me 10
Mm.
people or 100 people, I'll do an impromptu speech for an hour. Impromptu. I
Mm.
don't even need a script.
Mm.
I cannot carry personal baggage and all on all that. So that
Mm.
is number one stopper. of if you want to go towards good public speaking. Number two stopper is the kind of belief systems we have, and you know more than me exactly what I'm talking about.
mm,
There are a lot of things, small things, you know. Some
mm,
people become introverts because बचपन से डांटा होगा, ए बड़ों के बीच में बात मत करो, ए चुप रहो, तुमसे पूछा, चुप रहो
mm,
तुम चुप रहो, टीचर ने ऐसा किया होगा, नहीं 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 तुम रुको, हाँ बेटा तुम, हाँ तुमने हाथ उठाया था पहले उठो, हाँ नहीं नहीं नहीं, ऐसे टोन ऑफ वॉइस से बात किया होगा बचपन में वो बंदे से.
mm,
What kind of adult do you think that person is going to grow up to be?
mm,
Confidence dab jata hai. So
mm,
a lot of experiences from individual experiences from childhood, and the kind of belief system you and I and people around us have been raised in
mm,
plays a huge role in what
mm,
kind of public speaker you become, or what kind of confidently. If you're a coach, the most difficult part and any upcoming coach has is not presenting your material, is not
mm,
presenting your content or context. The most challenging thing for an upcoming coach is to sell yourself with
mm,
confidence and conviction, because conviction comes from how good your, not only your verbal, how good your non-verbal skills are. If you're
mm,
trying to convince me, your entire facial expression, your
mm,
eyes, your gesture, your body language needs to speak to me, not just your words. Only
mm,
then I would buy your course, isn't it?
mm,
So all that, ये सारी छोटी छोटी चीजें makes the big picture.
mm,
So small puzzles bharte hain. So
mm,
yeah, so please be very nice at home. Be nice with animals. Be
mm,
genuinely kind. Be a kind person. Automatically, you'll become a confident person. Be kind. Don't कोई धुतकारता है आपसे. It's all right. Learn to change your environment if you can. And public speaking is something, of course, no one, because it's very, because if you want to voice your vision, you need to understand one basic fact. Gone are those days, Rahul, I'm
mm,
sure you would agree, that how many years of experience, your tenuity you have,
mm,
or how highly qualified you are,
mm,
is secondary.
mm,
Primary is you are as good as you communicate.
mm,
Once this is understood, the second lesson is, which is my baseline, everything communicates, everything about you
mm,
communicates. And people like, and people, experts like you and all of us and the community, we must share with the world that the spoken words is just 7%.
mm,
And if something doesn't go our way, a sales negotiation doesn't go our way, I don't get the promotion
mm,
way, I'm giving all my reports on time, gone are those days only you meeting your KRAs on an
mm,
Excel sheet mattered. It doesn't.
mm,
Everything about you communicates. Just being smart and making a presentation in the boardroom is not enough, Rahul. When I enter my office premises, I start communicating what kind of a person I am the moment I enter the gate.
mm,
I can't just become a nice person and a very confident person. No. Everybody, if you go to my ex company now, even every chowkidar, every housekeeping guy, just ask them, यूडी सर याद है क्या? हाँ दाढ़ी
mm,
वाले सर कैसे हैं वो पूछेंगे आपको.
mm,
Everybody knew me by the name. Every chowkidar, every staff, every valet, everybody. सबको पूछता था कैसे हो. So all that helps. And उन सब की दुआएं, उन सब का एनर्जी
mm.
भी आता है ना मेरे कॉन्फिडेंस में.
True.
Isn't it?
Mm,
Be nice with everybody. पूछो हाल चाल. Just because he opens your gate. No. Be nice. That's what effective communication is all
mm,
about. आवाज ऊंची करके कुछ, इफ आई ट्राई टू प्रूव माई सेल्फ, कब तक करूंगा यार? एंड इट्स सो बोरिंग.
Mhm.
बीइंग नाइस विद पीपल इज लवली, इट्स सो इंटरेस्टिंग. मेरा बीपी भी ठीक रहता है यार, दवाई खाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है भाई. 10 साल से
True.
2.5 mg खा रहा हूँ.
Mm.
No tummy. You know, all my classmates, they're all
Mm.
huge guys, big guys in the industry, make tons of money. 50% of it goes into spending on their health.
Mm.
What's the point of making that money then?
Mm.
And we need to be nice here, Rahul. We need to be nice with people. And believe me, इस दुनिया में ज्यादा अच्छे लोग हैं राहुल,
Mm.
बुरे लोग बहुत कम हैं. अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम जो स्क्रॉल करते हैं ना, हमें वो सिर्फ वो 2% बुरे लोग ही दिखाता है मीडिया.
Mm.
वो मैं समझता हूँ, क्यों? आई नो द गेम. 11 साल एडवर्टाइजिंग में ऐसी ऐसी दाढ़ी थोड़ी
Mm.
सफेद हुई है. आई डोंट लेट दैट इन्फ्लुएंस मी. I don't let what media shows me influence my confidence. Listening, you viewers. Another thing, another tip which I would love to share with all your viewers, if you want to get over the fear of public speaking, rule number one: accept and love the way you are. I'm little cockeyed. I have thick lenses. I have crooked teeth. I have a dimple here. I have freckles on my face.
Mm.
I'm bald. I have receding hairline. Nobody cares, myself, my friends. If you think those are your imperfections which stop you from becoming a confident speaker, believe me, you are the only one who thinks they're imperfect.
Mm.
Nobody else. But we take that so seriously. We take that so seriously, Rahul, that भैया गाड़ी स्टार्ट भी नहीं होती है. गाड़ी स्टार्ट ही नहीं होती. वी आर ट्रैप्ड. अरे आई एम नॉट गुड इनफ. ओ आई डोंट लुक गुड इनफ. नो, रिमेंबर दैट एग्जांपल. दैट्स व्हाई आई शेयर दैट एग्जांपल ऑफ हाउ आई वन मिस्टर बियर्ड ऑफ इंडिया 2024. सब ऐसे डोले शोले यार. यू लुक एट माय
Mhm.
आर्म इज लाइक अ नूडल.
Mhm.
you know However, I'm very confident about myself when it comes to communicating. So that's the point. खूब knowledge होगा आपके पास, खूब ताकत होगी. However, if you're not able to communicate all that by confidently looking into people's eyes, क्या फायदा है यार वो knowledge का?
Mm.
कुछ फायदा नहीं है. There's no use of that knowledge if you're not able to
Mm.
confidently share it. And there is a method, there is a process. Anybody can learn to do that. And another belief, Rahul, unfortunately, people
Mhm.
still have is मेरी इंग्लिश अच्छी नहीं है. वो भी एक बहुत बड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस हिंड्रेंस होता है.
Mm.
उसके भी ट्रिक्स होते हैं. So there are techniques of how to handle these
Mm.
kind of issues. So in that's what I do in my training. I do first I do one-on-one training. So when I do a free first 1 hour call, there is something
Mm.
called training need analysis I do, where there are a lot of things which I used to gather, the kind of errors a person makes, the kind of speech errors, or the kind of things, voice, tonality, intonation, blah, blah, blah. All those things I used to gauge previously.
Mm.
Now, thanks to NLP, I am also able to gauge the unsaid,
Mm.
why this person might be. So then I'm able to gauge a lot about a student's issue, which is unsaid.
Mm.
So that really helps me, and I'm able to help people focus better. Um, my I have it, earlier I used to do traditional old school exercises in order to boost your confidence before you
Mm.
go on stage and things like that. Now I've developed new methodologies
Mm.
which are showing, which are really proving useful, especially when you mentioned I worked with 100 schools just 2 months
Mm.
ago with the
Mm.
students. So it really helped with children.
Mm.
I could really help them boost their confidence, and how to drop their inhibitions, basically.
Mm.
Because they always have that inhibition guard in front. Oh,
Mm.
log kya kahenge? Do I look stupid? They're going to make fun of me. Blah, 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 blah. all that kind of a thing. So I was very happy, Rahul, because मैं बचपन से किसी को ये हेल्प करने करने का मौका मिला, मैं कोई छोड़ता नहीं हूँ यार.
Mm.
अडल्ट्स को तो हेल्प करते ही हैं. एंड ऐसा लगता नहीं है आपको भी एज अ कोच की कभी कोई अडल्ट को हेल्प कर रहे तो लगता नहीं है काश ये बंदा या बंदी मुझे बचपन में मिल जाता है थोड़ा छोटी उम्र में तभी ठीक कर देता है इसको. Don't you feel like that?
True,
I
true,
mean,
true.
so that kind of a
Mm.
thing. I could have helped him or her much better अगर 10 साल
Much
पहले
better.
मिलता तो,
Mm.
However, yeah, so
Mm.
it's good fun, and I'll grab. And of course, Rahul, I also firmly believe in giving back to the society. If I'm able to give it back in cash, I do. When or sometimes I prefer to do it in kind. I give my time
Mm.
to teach school kids and how to be expressive and things like that. So I
Mm.
get to do mad things with small
Mm.
children and stuff. So it
Mm.
really helps me. वो जो पागलपन सब, so it's like an
Mm.
exercise for me.
Correct.
So उसमें
True.
मेरा भी स्वार्थ होता है.
Mm.
So I work with children. They also benefit. They have a good time. And my beard is a hit, yeah, with kids. So
True, true, true. So,
yeah.
on a slightly different note, I know you
Uh-huh.
mentioned this a couple of times before,
Mhm,
and especially since we're talking specifically to coaches and healers,
mhm.
uh, walk us through and tell us how your journey of NLP began and how that has made a difference to your life.
Oh, uh, being a communications coach,
Mm.
when I started off as a verbal communication
Mm.
coach, when I got immersed into non-verbal
Mm.
communication,
Mm.
my life changed.
Mm.
So non-verbal communication had a lot to do with neuro-linguistic programming.
Mm.
And oh, एक छोटी सी story share करूं एक बार.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
When I started teaching as a guest lecturer in Symbiosis College of
Mm.
Commerce in Pune,
Mm.
another cute thing, guys. 25 years ago, the
Mm.
classroom in which I was a student,
Mhm.
I got to be a teacher in the same
Nice,
classroom, in the same building, on the same floor.
nice.
So life came full circle.
Yeah,
So it's I
beautiful.
feel very good about it. So when I started teaching that, uh, so I used to teach that, and there was a chapter which really got me intrigued.
Mm.
It was on NLP eye movements.
The eye accessing cues.
Accessing cues,
Mm.
signs of detection, and things like that.
Mm.
So I started teaching that.
Mm.
However, the entire syllabus I could deliver very confidently. When
Mm.
it came to IQs,
Mm.
I was curious. I want to know more. I want to
Mm.
know more. I'm not convinced because if I'm not convinced with my content, I feel very uncomfortable delivering it.
Mm.
So I want to know more. I want to know more. So that's how the story came. And during Wipro days, one of my colleagues' brother, cousin, uh, became a good friend of mine. And he's been teaching NLP for the last 10, 15 years.
Mm.
So he's based in Pune. And his name is Ravi Bodani. And he was a friend of mine since a long time. And
Mm.
the time had come, and he stays very close to my house as well. And so that's how so did a hybrid kind of a thing with him.
Mm.
And I already knew him, and
Mm.
I knew him since a very long time. 25 years ago, he had
Mm.
actually sung for a rock band and stuff like that.
Nice.
So during my days and stuff like that. But that was a very
Mm.
long time. He's not into music or anything.
Mm.
So he got into this since 15 years. And so that came to mind. Then when I did my practitioner. Then I did my master's. Then
Mm.
I realized that there were a couple of things which I was already doing without realizing it was NLP.
Mm.
Also, the word linguistics
Mm.
interested me a lot.
Mm.
And earlier, Rahul, I used to struggle with when I used to teach my students. I used to struggle कि
Mm.
कैसे help करूं यार, because
Mm.
I'm used to my conversion being 100%.
Mm.
So I, agar for example, agar you make a Sir swap error, you can't say Ashok, you
Mm.
say Asok, because of your background, of whichever
Mm.
geographical location you're from. So in
Mm.
order to correct that, I use different exercises to correct your speech.
Mm.
So till that person doesn't get it, I don't
Mm.
feel satisfied, right? So make the
Mm.
person practice and practice and practice and practice and practice in a very interesting way. It can't be, because this is adult learning, right? So it's not
Mm.
बच्चों ऐसे नहीं पढ़ा सकते हो आप. Your techniques need to be different. So make it entertaining, make it interesting as well. So
Mm.
वैसे. So if you don't achieve that, but sometimes some people just don't can't get their confidence out
Mm.
because of some past trauma,
Mm.
childhood trauma, some events where they were
Mm.
ridiculed. मैं दिमाग में कैसे घुसूं, वो नहीं आता था मुझे.
Right. Mm.
So I had, if because I said, whoa, this is, and I started practicing NLP. Even now I practice NLP more on me rather than others.
Mm.
I want to, because using NLP, I'm yet to write my own narrative.
Mm.
I'm working on it. I want to
Mm.
write my own narrative first, yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, it's amazing. It's
Yes.
beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Mm.
So yeah, so NLP is beautiful. I kind of learned. I used to run away from computers, but then I
Mm.
realized that we have one inside us as well.
True. True.
I said, forget the outer, ये लैपटॉप और हार्डवेयर छोड़ो, पहले अंदर का कंप्यूटर कैसे ठीक करे.
That's right.
How to rewire my own software. I need
Mm.
to learn that,
Mm.
because I don't know about whether nobody's perfect or not. I don't know about
Mm.
everybody, but I know about myself. I'm not perfect.
Mm.
So I would love to become better than what I am today.
Mm.
So, and how to do that, and how to make changes in myself. So motorcycling helps me a lot now. I've
Mm.
started looking at motorcycling in a very
Mm.
different perspective now,
Mm.
Rahul. You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
अरे एवरी पांच, अरे क्या मेटाफर्स मिलते हैं पता है. ओ इतना मजा आ रहा है ना मुझे राहुल, इतना मजा आ रहा है ना यार. हर 20 किलोमीटर में 5 मेटाफर मिल जाते हैं
Yeah.
इन डिफरेंट
Yeah.
लैंग्वेज, एनीथिंग.
Yeah.
अरे ट्रक के पीछे जो सेइंग्स लिखे होते हैं ना फनी
Yes.
वाले, क्या मेटाफर्स मिलते
Yeah.
हैं. फॉलोइंग अ
Yeah.
ट्रक. मैंने अभी आते समय नागपुर के पास पढ़ा, क्या मेटाफर है. क्या लिखा है पता है ट्रक के पीछे? ऐसे घूर मत पगली, प्यार हो जाएगा. Where do you get to hear something like that? I mean, socho, the kind of confidence you need to say that. Of course, I use these ones with my wife. Of course, I do that. कि जब भी गुस्से से घूरती है तो मैं ये वाला डायलॉग बोलता हूँ, घूर मत पगली, प्यार हो जाएगा. Then she says, "Shut up! Don't make you making me forget what I was angry about." I break state. I break state.
There you go. One more reason why I myself am a confessed lover of all things NLP and hypnosis. So,
Oh, yes,
mm.
yes, yes. Hypnosis is an entire different ball game altogether. However, yes, हम भी सीखेंगे.
Mm.
हम भी सीखेंगे. काफी interesting है. हम भी सीखेंगे. However, right now I am just right time and the right place for everything, as my
Mm.
old man used to always say. So I'm taking it little, a day at
Yes.
a time, a
Yeah.
tile at a
Yeah.
time, a brick at a time.
Beautiful. So it's been an absolute pleasure and
Ah,
tons of fun listening to, like I said, all the little snippets that have been floating in and out through today's conversation. And I know for people, and this is the power of the internet, right? We don't know when they will see this. We don't know when the message will reach them, but it will when it's meant for them. And I know that for those of you who've been listening all the way till this point, you already have that, and you found that connection with Yuri. So two things, of course, before we start to wrap up. If you want to reach out, you will see Yuri's links. There is a link tree link. So as and when there are new as and when there are new programs or whatever it is that's been launched, you can definitely reach out, follow him on all his socials. Like I said, he does cover a lot of travel journeys, and of course all his different programs that he's doing. So
And sorry to interrupt you. And
mhm,
each post connects to communication.
that's right.
It's not just talking, it's not just learning
Mm,
up a script.
mm,
Experience is the greatest teacher,
mm-hmm.
isn't it? Because
Yep.
he's the only teacher, he or she, who gives you the test first, then the lesson.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, and to anyone watching, remember, your vision becomes your reality
mm,
when you communicate with conviction.
mm.
Yeah, Rahul, thank you for letting me share
It's
mine
been a
today.
pleasure. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Pleasure's
Been a
all
pleasure.
mine.
Yeah. And having said all of that, of course, we will be back for more and sharing more of these stories, more of these journeys of truly amazing people. So,
Yes.
Yuri, wish you all the best for
Thank
2025.
you.
One last thing,
Sure.
I would be remiss if I don't ask you this question, because
Mhm.
I do follow you on Insta, and I saw this, I think, yesterday or day before. So you're now carrying something with you that is very special to you. So would you love
Oh,
to share that story
oh
with us?
yes. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen. I have a couple of
Drum
tattoos.
roll, please.
Ta-da! I've got a new tattoo sleeve.
Mm,
I have my band Schwa. With them, I released
mm,
songs. So this represents one song called "Mother's Instinct." It's
mm,
actually an alien Cleopatra kind of a figure.
mm.
Mother's Instinct. Then there is an I here.
Ooh,
This I denotes a song called "Everything Searches for Something."
nice.
And Ye Jo Hai, this is a
Mm,
skull and a nail. This one is one of
mm,
my favorite songs, even if I say so. It's called Rudrabal.
mm,
Rudrabal, all of us have it. So
mm,
I teach people how to become better public speakers by
mm.
tapping the Rudrabal in them.
Nice.
So that's
Beautiful.
how. So there's a new tattoo. Yeah, it's
Beautiful. Amazing. So
fantastic. Hmm.
as always,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, if you've reached this point, then you know that you have connected to somebody truly special that you connect with.
Oh, thank
And
you. Thank you.
wish you all the best for 2025. And for all of you out there, wish you all the very best. And of course, as always, remember to live your purpose. God
Yes,
bless. And of
baby.
course, look
Long
forward
live
to
rock
seeing
and
you in the
roll.
next one. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Long live
And
rock
don't
and
do
roll.
anything that I wouldn't. Everything communicates. Everything about you communicates. Mwah. Love you all. Bye bye.
Nice.
Thanks,
Nice.
Rahul.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So, with that, in a second, I'm just going to pause our live feeds. Give me a second, Yuri.
Sure.